paranormal near you.
Friday night, and we are live on YouTube and Facebook and every other platform Grizzly is on. So I want to welcome everybody. Hello, Maria. I like Ike. How we doing? Joey, how are you doing? Lenny, good to see you. Glad everybody's joining in tonight. Thank you for being part of this, of course. Because without you, there's no this. There's just me, the dog, and my drink. And some Bigfoot stories to go untold. But it seems like there's a lot happening in the Bigfoot world lately. New footage out of Colorado that I've yet to see, but everybody's talking about it, so I need to put that up on my list. Unfortunately, I do have some Bigfoot stuff I will cover in a little bit that I think is Bigfoot activity that happened, and we'll see what you guys think, because there are some pictures of this. Joey, we're doing good. It's Friday and we're live. How can we not be good? And so we'll show those pictures later. I don't think the natives were happy because my dog Bear went for his first Squatch walk, and I don't think the natives were happy to see him, judging by the response I got. But, I don't know about any of you, but lately all my free time has been sucked up. Mary, how you doing? Good to see you in here. Hope the move is going well. What am I drinking? This is my go-to cocktail of some Canteen rehydration drink, some Diet Mountain Dew, and also some Crystal Light. So it tastes like Grape Crush. Yeah, well, the pictures aren't, should we say, needle moving, but they are interesting. And there was some. Well, I'm glad you joined us tonight, Mary. It's good to see that you're at least getting settled in. So we can't wait till you can get on a normal schedule. Hey, Maria. Oh, I bet this is somebody from work under an assumed name. We'll see if I guessed right. Joy saying hi to Mary. It is good to see her on here. I haven't seen her much or been able to hear from her. So I know they're busy getting moved in, getting settled in, and I'm not sure how many of you saw the podcast the other night. There was some heartbreaking news on there that about one of the hosts and pioneers in this field, Tom Cantrell, is going into or in hospice care at this point, but he is going to keep plugging away as he's had and keep charging till he can't charge no more. So hopefully we get to hear more from Tom. He has a lot of information to share, a lot of knowledge, and in my humble opinion, there's nobody out there who's going to fill those shoes yet. He's one of the greats. So Tom, if you happen to see this, prayers to you, my friend. Hopefully I can make you giggle a few more times. Ohio Bigfoot Research, how we doing? Oh, Maria's from Norway. Oh, no, wrong Maria. My manager at work has several YouTube aliases, and she'll pop in and take a stab. So I can say that. But yeah, there's some Bigfoot activity a couple hours away from me that actually made the papers, and for once they didn't make fun of it. There was a trackway. They brought in a professional tracking team. I'm going to cover this next week because I'm just now seeing the articles for it. So I didn't see them in time to get them ready for tonight's show, but we will cover it next week. Big announcement in case you weren't here last week, Bigfoot Input. If you have not checked out his channel, he does great photo analysis live. As a matter of fact, I was in his live before I came on here, and we were having a good time. So it's going to be a good time on June 27th. So mark your calendars because he's only done one other podcast. From what I understand, it wasn't a great thing. So hopefully we can turn that around when he comes on. We're going to be covering a lot of Bigfoot and probably a lot of other stuff because we were all over the dinner plate tonight in his chat. So, he's got pictures of Bigfoot up in here. We are talking about why the Pittsburgh Steelers would turn around and get Aaron Rodgers. He's a Steelers fan. He's not a happy Steelers fan. So we will see. I don't know why that guy's still playing, to be honest with you. I think he spent all his money on some kind of flower and other natural remedies. Yes, Maria, welcome to the channel. Mary says, oh, well, I can't spell joy. I don't have my glasses on. That's what autocorrect's for, when it works right. Linda Thompson's here. So the gang's showing up tonight. It's nice to see. Like I said, Bigfoot Input. That's going to be fun. I have a lot of fun in his chat when I'm on there. He does like monthly lives. So tonight he did one, had some great pictures. We are going to be do a live analysis of some pictures. So maybe if you've got something that you want J-Mac to take a look at, send it in. And any questions that you might have, put them in the comments or send them to me in Facebook Messenger. Most of us are friends on here anyway. But if you're not, look me up. And we got the OG himself, Grizzly Chris is in the house. So welcome. Standing Stones. It's a party tonight. Let's go. But yeah, so like I was saying, next week we'll be covering it, but they had a trackway show up in Monroe, Michigan. Actually had professional trackers go out and take a look at it. And for the papers not to make fun of it and actually say it's credible, as we know, actually means something, that there's something, this thing's got teeth. And when I do a little more research on it, we will cover it next week and I'll find all the stuff I can. Tonight, we're going to be all over the place. I do have pictures from what happened to, actually Linda Thompson was out there with me. And, there's some pictures of what we found. Bear was out there being Bear. And like I said, the locals probably weren't happy about it. Judging from the response I got. So actually, what I wanted to cover, though, is I have been showing my ceiling fan too much. Anyway, talking for a long time about the fact, I've made some pretty bold claims with as far as track size and, what that would relate to Bigfoot wise. I've said I found 23-inch tracks. I mentioned 19-inch tracks, 17-inch tracks, and when you're talking 19, you're talking what? A little over 9 feet, close to 10 feet, 23-inch, you're talking 12 feet, closing in on 13. And I showed pictures of those tracks, a couple of them with a tape measure on it. And somebody had sent me an article, and I'll give credit. Michigan Bigfoot Report and Data, Val Savala, sent it to me from a newspaper article he had come across. And it gives a little kick to the fact that, you know what, I'm not hallucinating or anything like that. And actually, let's find it here. This is an excerpt from a newspaper. So, and as it happens to be, it's my cousin's birthday and a friend of mine's birthday. So this was excerpted at November 9th or November 29th, 1987 newspaper clipping, right to left. The casting right was taken from Acosta County. The casting on the left was taken from Benzie County. And the track from Benzie County is larger by looking at the picture. So in conclusion, Benzie County has had a long history of jumbo-sized Sasquatch inhabiting that area for a very long time. And for everybody who can't see it, the doctor is holding up two prints, and one on the left is big, and the one on the right, even bigger. So it, like I said, that's from 1987. That's actually when I had my first sighting. So I was 16 years old, and I had my sighting in August. So, yeah, a little paper backup, which is something a lot of Bigfooters don't actually get. So, kind of made me happy that I had. Yeah, they're very big. Very, very big indeed. So I can't wait when Grizzly and Mary are able to settle down, and hopefully if they get a conference back here in Michigan, they'll be able to come up and maybe we can go find some of these monsters. Monster tracks. I don't really call them monsters. But we did go out last weekend, and we did find our own little trackway, but the problem was it was in very hard ground out there. It's actually like a service road with some kind of, I forget what they call the pebble on it. It's not cobblestone, but anyway, it's very hard. Trucks drive up and down it, and yet there is something out there, or some things that leave big imprints. And in another area, the leaf litter is so high or so dense that standing stone's 11 foot tall, I bet. Yeah, or taller. I mean, we're 23-inch tracks, so that's the one we know of. Not quite gravel. I forget. It's a certain type of stone. Somebody told me what it was, and I can't remember. Peat gravel, maybe. Anyway, you'll see in the photo when I pull it up here. Get rid of this one. And whoops. Not sharing yet. But I promise by the time JMac is on here, I will know how to share this. I have another PC now, so because when JMac comes on, we are going to do live analysis. He's going to have some pictures. I'm going to throw a few surprise picture his way. And let's see. Oh, I did not put the gravel one in here. We'll look at the one in the deadfall. So it's got to be pretty heavy because at the same time, hopefully you can see the print. It's to the left and up of my foot. You can see it's much wider than my foot. I'm a size 15. And that is very deep into the leaves. And actually for once, I'm guessing that's the 19 incher that's out there. It's not as big as the 23. Hit me up when you do. I'm down to go. Go where? Conference? Anyway, so let me know, Joey, if you're talking conference or actually out in the woods. I'm hoping to be able to go to new places this year. I plan on going back to Tippy Dam, where I've shown the picture of the tree peaker before, but this print was big, it's deep. And actually, I was able finally in one of these to dig down a little bit and discover that the heel is almost to the bottom of the picture, but I dug out the top and you can see what looked like to be toes hiding under there. And so whatever it is, it's big enough and heavy enough to actually leave it. And Val Zavala, I hope I pronounced that right, is the one who told me look under the leaves, because sometimes if it's heavy enough, they will leave imprints under the leaves. And here's one of those cases. So, I can see 1, 2, 3 toes. And I promise you, by the time J-Mac's here, I'll be able to share screen. We'll be able to zoom in on all this, because that's going to be a great show and get some good. Because he doesn't use filters or anything like that. He literally just looks at the picture. So it'll be fun to catch him off guard with some of these. Conference or out in the woods, whatever. Anytime, hit me up on Messenger. I'm sure we can make something work. My schedule is tight, but if I know ahead of time and can arrange things, make it happen. We are going to be out in the woods more this year. We're going to be looking for more places, looking for different evidence, and hopefully Squatch is providing, we'll find some good stuff to talk about. Because, as you know, I have my own health issues, not sure after August what's going to happen. So we are going to have a fun summer until then, and hopefully after that. So if there's any questions about the pictures, please let me know. But not only did we find tracks out there, there were also some interesting tree things. And I'll show you one of them. This was actually kind of cool because and they were pretty fresh. I mean, they were still alive trees. They weren't dried up, but there's 2 tree breaks going 2 different directions. So not really sure what in nature would have caused that, but it's in the same area as the imprints. So I'm guessing, again, get heavy on the guess, that probably Squatch related, because they were pretty thick trees. I'm pretty sure I could have stood on them and not maybe bent them, but definitely not snapped them the way they are. But there's all kinds of that stuff happening out there right now. So, honestly, I don't know what to think of it, because a bunch of the old tree stuff has been torn down and new stuff has been added. So, I've talked to a few friends, and and many of you know Old Bear. If not, check him out on, Den of Old Bear on YouTube. Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot, pardon me, on YouTube. And actually, I'll be on that show the 21st. But I've talked with him and a couple other people, and they seem to be in the same category of either the old clan got pushed out, or the alpha male has been ousted or passed on, and there's a new alpha male, hence the old stuff coming down and the new structures going up, or new stuff being added to them. So hopefully we can, if that's the case, I got to make new friends. That's going to be tough, because as we know, I promise not to leave any more GIF. So not even, well, he's here somewhere. I know Grizzly still got a few of them if you want them. Especially not leaving this Jeff. So you can get one of these on Grizzly Shop. Check him out. But we can't leave that Jeff. We can't leave Jeff Peanut Butter. We can't leave Skippy, Peter Pan, none of it. So we have to find new ways to make new friends. Maybe we will just take him and offer him up. Huh? Yeah, he doesn't seem too keen with that idea. So he did go Bigfooting. Yes, you did. And I don't think the neighbors were happy because what happened was little bear had to call a nature, and it was by my car. And when on the way through, we heard a couple tree knocks. Wasn't very eventful. It did get very quiet. You know, at the very beginning, we saw some squirrels and chipmunks, and it got very quiet. And as we were walking down, there were a couple huffs. Now, there are deer out there, so maybe it was deer huffs. But, you know, we checked and nothing had really been touched. We put a couple new stones out to see how that goes because we hadn't been in this area for over a year. But it's easier to walk and let a bear who can't even see over the grass. Joy, I'm in Jackson County, Brian. Yeah, we'll have to set a date and meet up somewhere. So I don't know how far you want to travel, but we can definitely meet in the middle somewhere. Take it out. Hour south of Detroit. I am actually going to be down there. I think it's July 11th. I think I'll have to look and I'll let you know. Joy, if you hit me up on Facebook, if we're not already friends, hit me up and remind me, and we'll see what we can do. So we walked Bear. Like I said, a couple huffs on the way down. On the way back, there were a couple tree knocks. And I get back to the car, I put my bag in the back, turn, and I can see what looks like, you know, real shiny, sticky leaves. And I'm like, what is that? And the grass was too tall where a bear had heeded the call of nature. And Marie's saying, "Oh, again." Oh, no ratings, Maria. Wrong show. You have to come back Monday night, I believe. So, yep, I'm a lot of things, but doing readings is not on my forte. I'm sorry. So unless Grizzly wants to pull somebody out of the blue and get him on here, we can do a reading. But other than that, it's just kind of Bigfoot. There's going to be a little Dogman because of the new thermal footage from Dogman over on North American Dogman Project. And Lord Star Fox channel is doing it. If he's doing them, it's not that I know of tonight. So, yeah, might have to take a rain check on that one. I'm sorry. So I don't think he's scheduled for later that I know of. But you know what? I'm going to be a good host and try to look, and we'll find out together. So as of now, there's nothing scheduled. I'm on his account. Yep, we stream off of his account on his StreamYard. We stream off his YouTube channel, and he does have readings on here with Angela and Kelly Joe and Imbal, and we got a lot of them. So Wednesday night is Bigfoot. Friday night's Bigfoot. He might be on TikTok. You could check TikTok and see if he's on. But yep, you're on the right channel. It's just the wrong night. Angela, I believe, is Tuesday or Thursday. That's when Angela will be here. So we'll get you taken care of one way or another. Promise. Oh, happy Father's Day weekend to all the fathers out there. By the way, someone just told me today that it'll be Father's Day this weekend. So the kid and I are going to celebrate it. Hopefully he's going to come up. Thank you, Maria. We try to be one big happy family here. That's for sure. And thank you very much. All the way from Norway. Dogman. I don't know how many people in here have seen the footage over on Lord Star Fox channel and also on North American Dogman Project, the thermal footage. I won't show that footage on there. I'll leave that for them. That is up to them as far as showing it. I do know the person who shot the film or who took the film. What do I call myself? Oh, I get many names for myself, but Brian's the given one. So Brian works just fine. Brian. Let's get it. We'll make it spell it the right way. Not that goofy Y stuff. Kenny T on Star Fox. Yes. So they have some good thermal footage of what looks like to be a dog woman. Oh, that's right. It's not in the title tonight, is it? That's right. I should have put that up on my name. So, yep, just Bigfoot Outlaw and Bigfoot's Barbershop. That's the other channel you can catch on, and you can also catch some of my other encounters on. We'll be adding to it. We're going to add a nutrition channel to it. Amy, how you doing? So I'm going to bring up a photo now, a still shot, because you guys really should go check this thermal footage out. It's really cool. Of course, it's catching praise. Of course, it's catching heat, and mostly it's just they're pretty much 50-50 on it. Anthony Pick. Yeah, toothpick. Exactly. That's what they could make a bear. So, photo time. If you want to see the video, go check it out. They actually weren't sure what they were taking at the time. Blue-eyed Northern Girl is the one who took it, and she's in a lot of the chats. I don't see her in here tonight, but I do see her in a lot of the chats that I frequent when I'm able to get online. And this kind of falls in line. Obviously, it's thermal. But it does have things in it, we'll say, with that make it a dog woman from the waist up that you can see. And so we got, now we'll just say, we got dog women breast tissue and showing up in thermal, which is interesting. And the head, shoulders, when you watch the video, it does make more sense. This is a zoomed in shot, obviously. But the video is really interesting because of the fact it actually looks like it has a child with it, and it looks like the child tries to run toward the camera, and possibly the dog mommy reaches out to grab it and pulls it back, and it looks like Hey, you little snot, get back here. So, but to show you what Lord Star Fox actually did a comparison on this. So I'll bring the comparison up and show you that as well, of what you're looking at, possibly looking at, we'll say, is this. Again, we'll give it, North American Dogman Project and Midnight Lycanthropy their kudos because this is their property. But in the center, his rendition of what that photo represents, and it's interesting. Again, it raises a lot of questions. How you would get that to show up in a thermal would be a topic for debate. It'd be interesting for sure. IHOP. Oh, I want to go to IHOP. I wish we had IHOP around here. Amy thinks my shirt says IHOP. But, it's good, to me, good thermal footage. And when you can see it a little closer like that or on a big screen, gives a lot of food for thought onto doggy mommies with kids, pups, just depending on what we're saying there. And would love to hear your thoughts on it. Check the footage out, and everybody's open to questions. It's being shown all over. I even saw on a podcast, Sir Brian Boyden is going to be talking about that particular footage at a conference, so it's definitely raising eyebrows. Go check it out if you get a chance. Amy could see similar traits there as a gal. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the female traits are there. Again, once we're able to I'll be able to use the cursor, but you can kind of see where the glands are, we'll say. Yeah, both have young ones and both have breasts. Why would you bother trying to do that in a thermal? Why would you bother trying to have a kid? It would just complicate everything to me, and it just raises more questions. What is that picture from? It's from some thermal footage the blue-eyed northern girl took. That's what she goes by on YouTube. And you can check it out on the North American Dogman Project or Lord Star Fox Midnight Lycanthropy and see the full footage and a breakdown of it. Yep, exactly. Standing Stone says looks like a fox holding a baby, and that seems to be what it is, except it's standing upright. I'd have to ask Blue-Eyed Northern Girl, but I remember her saying it was quite tall, and the commentary on the video is almost like they weren't taking it too serious. So that if you were really trying to convince somebody by hoaxing, you would, it just, none of it makes sense to me leading toward a hoax. I think she got legit stuff here, especially for Dogman. How many good, decent Dogman things do you see? I mean, there aren't a lot. And I think this is going to wind up being a sure nobody's trying to make an impact probably down the road for time to come as this stuff gets analyzed. So Ohio Bigfoot is your brush like a woman. Yep, they're there. right out for everybody to see. And where it's standing and the fact that it's snatching up a kid. I mean, oh, the mane, yep. It is all there. I mean, it really is. I've seen female Bigfoot and they do have breasts like that. Also, yeah, I mean, look at Patty from the Patterson Gimlin film, you know. And like they were saying back then, they didn't even have the technology for the suit to do a male. So let alone trying to throw in, should we say, physics abiding breast tissue when she walks. Lion King, Lioness King. So yeah, again, I just want to remind people, send questions and everything, comments, because JMac is going to be a lot of fun. He's a wealth of information. So just remember that in the back of your mind while we're looking at this great picture of the dog lady, because as we compare the two again, I mean, I think he's pretty spot on. And during the video, it looks like it's trying to like run toward the camera and it's, hey, get back here. Like you would snatch a kid who's heading for the candy aisle in a grocery store. Nope, that's right, Amy. They don't. Amy says the girl lions don't have a mane. And no, they don't. Only the males have that adaptation. Amy, you know a lot. I see you in chat. You just like to hide it and then spring this stuff up on us as we're chatting away, which is great because of the interaction. Yeah, this footage is just blows me away. Oops. Get rid of this. So we've had Dogman. We've had nobody said anything here. Ohio Bigfoot researchers. Let's get people's opinions on this. I don't know, Standing Stones, or you guys were here when I put this on there originally. So here's the track I found with my foot next to it. I know it's hard to see, but then when I dug underneath the leaves, we hit that, which like toes to me. And, I didn't have a tape measure on me, but I'm guessing it was closer to the 19-inch range that we see out there quite a bit. And not the 23-incher that's running around, because it is quite a bit bigger than my foot, as you can tell here, because it's at least 2 of mine wide and probably half as big. Saw one. Standing Stone saw something on the way to work one morning at dawn. It's pure black and very fast. Well, how Bigfoot researchers big male print. That's what I was thinking, but I always like to have other opinions because I didn't finish the story. I got off on a tangent. And so the green sticky stuff on the grass, I was trying to figure out what it was, but I noticed as I was looking at it, it was literally drying in the sun. So I took a picture of what was left, and there were imprints around that, and also something either keyed or clawed the trunk of my car from one side where it peed all the way across my trunk to the passenger side, top of the car. So I don't know if I didn't hear anybody up there, and whatever it did was peed and got out of there without us hearing it. Yet it was fresh enough that it was still drying in the sun and dried very quickly. And it was way too high to have been bear again because it was way over his head. So something peed by my car and then turned around and took a nail and went across the trunk. Next week I'll post those pictures if you want to see it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking was they didn't care for Bear being out there. Even though he's all of 5 pounds, they didn't like a new fluffy furry critter that was by me and was obviously off the menu because he was with me. So I would probably go out, weather permitting, this weekend. We'll see if there's a different response without him. If there is, maybe we'll try one more time taking him out and see if that changes again, just for the control group, and we'll say enhanced group because we're enhancing it with a Pomeranian, and see what the locals think of them. Have I thought my personal bulk was a threat at times? No. Nope. Compared to some people think I'm a big guy, and as weird as this sounds, since I saw one in 1987, I have never, no matter how big I've been, ever considered myself big considering what I saw that night. Because what I saw that night was literally, and I was able to measure it because of the fact that I sat in the same car that I saw the Squatch in, was literally two of me wide, that I am the size I am now. So I have never ever considered myself big by those standards. Even when I see a huge, I've been around pro wrestlers, and well, Bigfoot researchers, male mark in his area where your dog was. Yeah, because he peed in the exact same spot. There was a whole lot more of it and a whole lot higher up. So, Joey, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, so I've never considered myself big. I don't consider myself a threat to them. Maybe they do. I mean, I guess no matter what size you are, if you happen to come across some of the kids like we have in the past, anything's a threat to them. So protective parent's gonna be a parent first and ask questions later, which is probably how they have survived this long. And he kept us at arm's length just by perceiving every one of us until proven otherwise, a possible threat is what I think. It took quite a while to be getting any kind of interaction to them, and peanut butter gifts. And myself, I got to get back into some old habits, like making sure I wear the same shirt when I go out, making sure I wear the same hat. So you get that familiarity. I know they get your smell, but at the same time, if the wind's not in your favor and they're only going on visual, you want them to be able to still have those references that, oh, okay, there's the black hat, there's the black shirt. And the ticks are horrible, so it's going to be a long sleeve shirt. It's going to be a long, hot summer. Everybody watch out for the ticks if you happen to be going out. But there will be more outings, and Squatch is provided. There will be more evidence, as long as I can find it, because I am sure that for every track I found, I have probably stepped in stepped over, stepped around, and just plain missed probably 10 because I suck at tracking. I really should take one of those courses, go to the conference and take one of the tracking courses, like Robbie Raines and D.A. Roberts put on. I would love to go take some lessons from them. I think that would be awesome. Kind of a bucket list thing. But yeah, so tonight we got to see dog women. We got to see potential prints. We got to find out bear's not welcome, and they're going to pee on the grass and scratch my car. Is it evidence? I think so. Is it evidence I'm happy with? I think not really. I don't want my car all scratched up. There's a female in the area looking for a mate. You might be in a little trouble, but they always know they are much stronger than us. Yeah. I am going to be, if that were to happen, I would probably either wind up as the date or just getting a whipping so they can prove how strong they are. I don't think there's going to be a good outcome either way for me. Getting the butt beaten's not a positive sounding thing, and being their date is definitely not a promising proposition either. Don't get in the way. I do my best not to. I try to respect what they have going out there. I don't try to push my luck with them. If you get the feeling that you're not wanted, I try to abide by that and just call it a day. Because to me, which is why I don't do the Bigfoot howls, you don't know what you're saying. And from everything I understand, that Ohio howl is a challenge. So getting evidence by getting them to be aggressive, I don't think is a good idea, especially if you want to go back to that area. Because now they're going to just perceive you as being an arrogant wanker and either not have anything to do with you or give you a very hard time while you're there, which is not what I'm in this for. I did think of the guy's name now. This is going to be really bad because you guys are all going to laugh at me. I called into a show. It's Scott McGreer. Sorry, I got to look up his name. You'll look him up, but he's got a podcast that he does right after Tim Pool's podcast. I was told to call into it and actually got through. There were like 5,000 people in the live. And I was totally stunned that I got called up on and wanted me to tell a story. So, which we learned an interesting fact too. Did you know Scott Greer? There we go. So his show, Inverted World Podcast, called into, and ironically, they were talking about aliens, but arrogant wanker, yeah. That's what I don't want to be, is an arrogant wanker. Show them respect, they will show back. I do my best. Ohio Bigfoot researcher, I really do. He came right out and asked me if I wanted to be was trying to be friends with Bigfoot. I think kind of a bait question, but it was like, I don't ever think to be their friend. I just hope to get trust, interactions, hopefully some glimpses. Wicked current. What current? Yeah, I don't think there's any befriending them. I'm just hoping to build a trust of sorts, or a mutual respect, live and let live, and hopefully see and let see a little bit. Hope for that. That's all I can do. I'm not out to move the needle on if they exist. I'm out to hopefully get experiences and come here places like this and share them with you. And if I learn anything along the way, try to share that knowledge that will either help benefit you, or if I make a mistake and like what got me to come out of the Bigfoot closet was um, consequences for feeding them, habituating them. So that's what got me down this road and got me where I'm at, was having to admit that I screwed up and having to admit I changed some people's lives, having to admit I had no control over that situation, and having to live with those choices. And unfortunately, I have a conscience, and that weighs heavy on it with everything I do out there now in those woods. So there's no more misconception about who's running the show, because they are, no matter what you do, no matter what precautions you take, what you carry, what you don't carry, they're running the show. They're going to dictate the way things go. So will your actions persuade them one way or the other? Yeah, they could. They could persuade to a very nasty outcome if you come out at all. Or people around that area will, as in my case, have to live with choices you make. And if you're any kind of decent human being at all, you'll feel bad about it. Brian, this me. Oh, Wicked Current. I always wondered what WC stood for. Thank you. River in Missouri. Gotcha. Yeah, Joey, Joey says, I'm amazed at the relationship that Mr. Tom Control has with his. Yeah, you don't hear about those few and far between. I wonder if it's just because they are that rare, or maybe they're so special that people don't want to talk about it because they don't want that relationship to be interrupted, with people going out and interfering or doing something to violate the trust. But in Tom's case, it sounds like they want him to share certain things. They tell him what he want him to share and what they don't. And I guess all I can really say is, Tom's in my prayers for the best possible outcome. Anyway, with that, so prayers for Tom. Bigfoot input on the 27th. Give us your questions. Next week, there is a potential guest. I'm just waiting on a response. If I don't get her on the show, then we will be talking about the encounter in Monroe that had professional trackers admitting that it's very credible. And we will also be covering some other pictures that have been kind of shown my way with a few experiences behind them. And for the rest of tonight, we will, including Bear, doesn't want to look at the camera, be saying, yeah, stories are really wild. Joey lives right down where I'm talking about. So things are out of control down there. There's been a few up here, and we're going to cover those. So next week will be just random Bigfoot encounters with pictures, most likely. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks for interacting with me tonight. It's always a joy when we can get the gang together and banter back and forth. And with that, from coast to coast around the world, you guys have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day, everybody. And, Take care. Love and peace to y'all.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No, we're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not a chipmunk? Action. No, I'm out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.